really Peter Dutton needs to urgently take a page out of Tony Abbott's playbook, because Tony Abbott, as
Going
opposition
hard.
leader, was incredibly effective. He was incredibly effective at crystallizing exactly what was wrong and what they would do to stop the things that had gone wrong. Labor's got a great big green tax that is not just on your power bill, but it's on everything that you consume. It's your food, it's your power, it's everything that you consume. The $1 trillion debt, again, I don't even know, frankly, how clued into the deficit people are these days. I feel like that issue has come off. I think it's much more local. I think it's much more hip pocket sort of thing. So, it's the great big green tax on everything. It is the lack of anything about housing. And the big indictment, the biggest indictment of the Albanese government is that people no longer are convinced that their kids are going to have, or their grandkids are going to have, the same or a better life than they enjoyed. And that is the feeling that Peter Dutton needs to crystallize,
bring back
and
the
bring
Australian
home
dream.
and say, we are going to bring this back.
Which is kind of what Matt was talking about.
Well, with Tony Abbott, we still remember all these years later, stop the boats.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the carbon tax.
Yeah.
They were the slogans. They were the clear messages. They were election promises. And they happened. So these shouldn't just be cheap slogans. They should actually be policies that are then implemented. But it's easy to paint a picture. Have an ad where every time someone goes to pay for something, Albo and Adam Bant are taking a bit of that money out of their pocket for all the taxes, all the regulation, the way we are over-regulated and businesses are stifled. You can paint a picture very clearly in 15 to 20 seconds without having someone doing a monologue to camera like that.
But you also have, James, you also have issues like the reason you mentioned, we discussed the Kamala Harris ad with Trump, is because it crystallised. It was one idea which crystallised everything that was wrong, which is a cultural issue. In Australia, the cultural issue, which the Coalition have already won, was the voice. Every day we should see Peter Dutton and Jacinta Price out there attacking all this waste of money in Indigenous affairs, all this nonsense First Nations ambassadors and all of that sort of stuff. That's where they can be attacking and standing up for the Australia of one equal Australia.
Can I make one other suggestion too here? We talked about that protester before and what he was talking about the housing. This is how they should actually be talking. They should be saying, Labor is not for you. Labor is not for your kids. They are for bringing in people who will vote for them and staying in power forever. Do you want that? But the other point I'd make, too, just on the Tony Abbott stuff, you remember how absolutely furious the ABC and the Herald and the Age were at him every day. And I think, Peter Dutton should wake up every morning and he should look at the headlines on the ABC and the Herald and the Age. And if they are not furious with him, then he needs to have a big spray at his visor and say, let's get them angry because they're the ones we want angry because they're not voting for us anyway.